Honey, hello. My name is Herbie Barnes, and I'm the artistic director at Young People's Theatre. I'm going to throw on my glasses. I think of Toronto as a village, a large village. I come from a village mentality. My father was from the village of London, England. He left and came to Canada, where he found my mother, an Anishinaabe woman from the village on Manitoulin Island, 5 hours north of Toronto. Growing up, our home was run like a First Nations home, and by that, I mean this. No matter how poor we were, there was always enough food for everyone, family or not. If you were there at dinner time, you ate. There was always a place for a guest to sleep, no matter how crowded the house was. I was always taught to be a good First Nations person, even though my mother was no longer considered First Nations. You see, by falling in love and marrying my father, my mother lost her native status. But for me, I was born 6 months before their wedding. I've been full status since birth. Strange, I know, but that's our government. So what does all this have to do with building arts in the city or a village? Well, a village is not based on buildings, sorry. Although, as an aside, Toronto boasts the most cranes in the air, 252 cranes last summer. The second highest city was Los Angeles with 51 cranes. The construction of many buildings is not an indicator of a powerful village. The true indicator of strength is how we develop and build the character of our young people. With strong young people, our city will grow to greatness. Of course, we work in order to create shelter, to survive. But we survive so we may enjoy beauty and art. To survive in Toronto, I read that you need to make $22.08 per hour and work more than 40 hours a week. Minimum wage in Toronto is $15.50. Now here's an interesting fact. Apparently, pre-contact, it only took 11 hours of work per week in order to survive. The rest of the time was spent on creating art. Indigenous people educated our young people about the beauty of nature, the splendor of creation. And when children are raised in this belief, they learn not only to appreciate beauty, but they also feel compelled to care for it, to care for the earth, to keep it for the next generation. Now, let's consider the next generation. Our young people have been isolated for more than 2 years. The effect of the isolation is huge. They need to catch up on the core subjects that some of them fell behind with online learning. The prevailing opinion? Let's get these kids back on track with the basics. The arts can wait. We need to support businesses that struggled through their pandemic. Again, the arts can wait. Why do we need arts in Toronto? Well, if we think of theater as a fun little distraction from everyday life, we can look away from it for a while. But we all know that it's not a distraction. Theater is a set of tools allowing us to explore who we are, to learn about our neighbors in the village. Theater can introduce us to the unknown. Now, we all fear the unknown, and of course, so do children. It's like the monster under the bed. It's scary. We can fight to kill the monster, or we can turn on the light to see what it truly is. Theater and the arts are simple ways to turn on the lights for young people. Early on as my tenure of as artistic director, we were talking to our board about the many actors who had their start at Young People's Theatre. As students before they went on to illustrious careers. Kiefer Sutherland was one of ours, yeah. So was Drake. But more importantly to me, 3 of our board members chimed in to say that they too had their first theatrical experience at YPT, watching shows or attending our drama school. Those classes gave them the confidence and inspired their creativity, provided them with a collaborative approach to their everyday life. Yes, we can cite the performers that fill our stages across Canada, who learn their trade from our amazing arts educators, or we can focus on the facts that many regular folks learned life skills at Young People's Theatre in our 57-year history. The team building skills we offer inspire an open and inclusive mindset that set our young people on a path of understanding. Theater, by its very nature, is a team building exercise, one that calls for collective thought between performers, playwrights, designers, and audience. Theater can, quite simply, be the medium to build a better, more empathetic, and more collaborative human being, and therefore a better society, a better, stronger village. Where can our young people go today to immerse themselves in community beyond the virtual world? When young people come to theater, in fact, when anyone comes to theater, a strange and wonderful thing happens. For the duration of the play, the audience's lives are in a collective experience. They are experiencing the same thing at the same time, just like you are tonight. Studies show that even our hearts begin to beat at the same rate. Our breathing becomes syncopated. In my theater, YPT is a repurposed heritage building. It was designed to hold the horses that moved the streetcars in Toronto and eventually to repair those streetcars. Around 50 years ago, Ebe Zedler transformed the facility into Young People's Theatre, and for the last 10 years, my co-leader of the company, really my leader of the company, Nancy Webster, has been reimagining and working to raise money to serve our young people even better. The pandemic gave us the opportunity to make some changes, to expand our facilities, and to open our doors even wider. Not only a bigger facility, but a better, more inclusive space, accessible to all. Today, YPT boasts not only our beautiful redesigned 2 theaters in our heritage building, we also own YPT 161 Studio across the street. Across the street, our offices, a costume shop, 3 beautiful education studios sit alongside a full-side rehearsal designed by KSA architects. Each space has floor-to-ceiling windows so that you can look in and see what's happening there. Now, when I joined the team, I walked through the space mid-construction, and I dreamt about the fingerprints at the bottom of each of the windows. Evidence that every child who dropped in would be gazing to see the wonders inside each room. The actors in rehearsal, the sewers creating costumes. I figured there'd be a lot of low window cleaning. The truth is, we're cleaning the whole window. Because our young people don't only want to see in, they want to be seen. Our staff hear the students plead with their parents, please come early so you can see my rehearsal. Come early to my school. Come look at my art on the walls. At YPT, we need 4 walls to house our dreams. But more importantly, what we're really building is a future. The building that houses the arts creates leaders of tomorrow, leaders of our community, leaders of our village. Thank you.